Hi guys, Amy here. Today I want to tell you about the legendary Kamen Rider items. Legendary Rider items are a transformation tool, weapon or power-up based on past Kamen Riders, used by newer ones to access their strengths, abilities or attacks. Think of it as like a way to make fan service, but with lore. Legendary items were introduced in Kamen Rider Decade with the Rider cards. Rider cards are a piece of tech developed to work with the Decade driver. Each card contains data describing the powers of each rider. With that data, Decade could transform into them, transform into their alternative forms, use their attacks, and even transform them into equipment to help Decade in combat. The Rider cards were the main gimmick of Kamen Rider Decade, designed mostly to advertise the Kamen Rider Gunbarite arcade game. It was a pretty cool idea. You get the driver from your grandma, giving you a nice set of cards, then mom gives you the Kamen Rider action figure that comes with an extra card, then you go to the arcade place where the CPU beats your ass, cause you need to spend more money for stronger cards. With a combination of nostalgia and brand synergy, Bandai's eyes turned into dimes after they saw the amount of zeros on their quarterly sales, which made the legendary Rider gimmicks a mainstay. But before we get on to the second part of this video, let's bring up a tier list again. Yeah, you love it when I did it in the last video. Sorry for forgetting V-Buckle's lore and confusing Super 1 and X, and for making a system that was way more convoluted than it needed. I promise those type of errors will return in the future. But this time let's start with explain the categories. Transforming into past riders, rather self-explanatory. Channels past rider powers. A rider uses the legendary item to bend past rider powers to suit his combat style, generate a weapon or an armor. If I were to compare it, imagine you are still using the same pen, just with legendary rider ink in it. Summons past riders, whether a clone or literally just summoning them right here in this place at that time, it's rather self-explanatory. We don't know. Sadly, even the great minds at Bandai or Toei don't tell us everything, so we'll just need to live in the dark. But if I have an idea, I will either show a suggestion from different parts of merchandise or make up a headcanon. What do you think? Which category will have the most examples in it? I based this system partially on Decade, since as I mentioned, his many different rider cards can do every one of those skills, but for sake of organization, let's put his main gimmick into the transforms into past rider category. And as you will see, I chose Kuga as the example for most of the rider gimmicks, since due to his marketability and being so iconic, he appears in almost every toy line. Next up we have the double Gaia memories. Wait, but the show movies didn't have any! Yep, but it didn't stop Bandai from pumping them out for at least 3 years, up to Wizard, since we got memories for Showa Riders, Heisei Riders, Old Forms, and even Imagine. So thanks to the powers of candy and capsule toys, you could have a little Momotaros in your pocket with his iconic quotes. And some memories were even released a few times with different designs. But other than just copying the sound effect for the sake of making a fun toy, we have zero clue what they would do in universe. I personally imagine them letting Double absorb or use memories and experiences of the riders and their familiars. So for example, Shotaro transforms into Double Cyclone Joker and puts Kuga memory into either the Double Driver slot or the Maximum Drive slot, and for a short time he becomes the master of great thumbs ups. But that's just my headcanon. So Gaia memories go into the category of we have zero clue. O medals. They are our first legendary rider item that had a canon appearance. As in the O's and Fourze crossover movie, Foundation X somehow transformed the Showa Riders into medals. O's scanned them and they turned back into humans. Yeah, that's rather boring. So I am to show you an awesome concept seen in the Kamen Rider O's SIC story. Released on December 2015, SIC Hero Saga Kamen Rider Decade Edition World of O's was a novel showing us further adventures of Kamen Rider Decade throughout the alternative realities of Gaim and, as you can tell by the title, O's. Jeez, if I had a penny for every time O's is related to a warlord, I would have 3 pennies. Sadly, I can't tell you too much of the lore since I can't read Japanese, I don't own the copy of this book, and the wiki often has trouble even remembering the SIC stories exist. Hi, so a little addendum. I found a blog that has translated the whole book Go check it out, it will be in the pinned comment. In the story, Decade uses the Final Form Ride O's card to steal Geo's gimmick like 4 years before Geo existed, and that Alt Universe AG uses a special variant of Tatoba combo by channeling the power of past animal-themed riders. Hibiki's Habataki gives him the power of sound attacks, and his flute, Ryuki's Tiger, replaces the Tora claws with Tiger's Death claws, and Ichigo strengthens his kicks. So yeah, Foundation X medals suck. ARO's medals are probably one of the coolest gimmicks ever, and I'm really sad that they are stuck on the pages of a novel. So with this, we introduce the Summoning Past Riders for the movie medals, channeling the rider powers for the SAC medals. After that, we have the Fourze Astro switches. Similarly to O's medals, we saw them in the crossover movie, and they summoned past riders. Boring. You know what's more interesting? The concept arts from the arcade game. The Gunblade arcade game gave Fourze a whole set of models to go with the Legend Rider switches. The switches follow the design of the other models, being a piece of equipment with Rider's face on them. It's a long ride. Ichigo model boosts Fourze kicking power and jumping height. Nigo model boosts Fourze's punching power. V3 module boosts Fourze's kicking power and jumping height, thanks to the threads on the foot. Riderman module gives Fourze a Swiss Army knife-like attachment that works similarly to Riderman's cassette arms, giving him a drill, a little sickle, and a winch. All of these items can be sent out on a rope. By the way, I will love how polite the Riderman switch looks, he's so cute. X module gives Fourze a rider-like stick on his leg. Amazon model give Fourze a jaw-like glove on his arm. I think this is my favorite module, it simply looks so funny. Stronger module boosts Fourze's punching damage and lets Fourze shock his enemies with electricity.
Skyrider on.
Skyrider module allows Fourze to fly, I guess by reducing gravity around him.
Super 1 on.
Super 1 module allows Fourze to use all the powers of Super 1's alternative hands. Middle finger is electric, index spews out coolant, thumb seems to be based on the super hands, which were Super Swan default arms, which gave him 30-ton punches. Pinky finger maybe is the radar hand, which gave Super 1 a radar missile, and that way the pointing finger needs to be the second thermal hand that acted as a flamethrower. Even though my heart still belongs to the Amazon module, I think we can all agree this one is the most creative one.
Z-Cross on.
Z-Cross module allows Fourze to channel his inner Mega Man and shoot out Z-Cross's shurikens.
Black on.
Black module allows Fourze to copy Black's rider kick.
Black RX on.
Black's RX module allows Fourze to summon an arm blade based on the Revel Cane, as well as copy the Revel Crush finish. Kugas module increases Fourze kicking damage with help of a Goram-like spiked boot. Agito module allows Fourze to copy Agito's rider kick. Ryuki module give Fourze's a Draclaw-like glove. I would love to see it combined with the Amazon module for like a double jumping move. Fourze module allows Fourze to copy Fourze's Crimson Smash. By the way, I really like how the module is just a mission memory surrounded by photon blood cables. Reminds me of those fancy arm casts. Blade module give Fourze a Blade Rouser like boot and allows him to copy his Lightning Slash. Hibiki module. It copies Hibiki's taiko stick, but also equips him with a giant version of Ongekiko on his arm. I can imagine Gentaro bashing on it like a madman to perform the Ongekida Bakuru Tse Shinku no Kata finisher. Kabuto module allows Fourze to copy Kabuto's rider kick. In a lovely detail, the Kabuto module can also cast off. I don't know if the detail also somewhat changes Fourze's powers, but I can imagine him using it like a portable grenade, shooting out shrapnel around him. Deno module. This one gives Fourze a tiny copy of Denliner as a glove, with which he can execute powerful punches. Kiva module. It gives Fourze his own copy of Kiva's Hell Gate, but instead of being a coffin with a magical gem, it's Kiva's head that covers itself with wings. Cute. Of course, with a Hell Gate, Fourze can now do the Darkness Moonbreak. Decade module. It gives Fourze the ability to perform Decade's Dimension Kick. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kinda disappointed. I hope that it would maybe allow Gentaro to copy Decade's illusions or some short distance teleport, but hey, not all of them can be winners. Double module allows Fourze to blast a gust of wind. O's module is a glove shaped like Aang with O's head that can absorb and shoot out cell medals. Kamen Rider Ganbaride also had a special combo attack. If used in combination with special collector editions of O's, V3, Ichigo, and Deno switches, Fourze would execute a Final Fantasy style super move, where he summons the Denliner, grabs his target with the O's module, and finishes him off with a combo of Ichigo and V3 modules in the form of a wind-propelled spinning kick. In my personal rating, Fourze legendary models are 10 out of 10 on a fun scale, but don't get accustomed. Having so much fun and cool designs for legendary rider toys won't be a mainstay. So Foundation X switches summon the riders, while the Gunbar Rising switches let Fourze channel past rider powers. Wizard Rings. Wizard Rings was seen in the series, and as seen in the movie War Ultimatum and the Kamen Rider Rings epilogue, Legend Rider Rings allow Wizard to summon past riders, but instead of being like hard-like copies like Decade or Dian's, Wizard kinda teleports them to himself with their full equipment and access to alternate forms, so it goes straight into the summon past riders category. Lockseeds. Legendary Rider Lockseeds debuted in the Kamen Rider Gaim portion of the Wizard X Gaim movie, where the lost items of Bujin riders combined with raw Helheim fruits, turning them into Lockseeds. I guess the rider power somehow influenced the Helheim fruit's ability to rewrite DNA, kinda overtaking it to generate a legendary rider Lockseed. Later, the Heisei vs. Showa movie showed us Kamen Rider 15 copying the 15 Heisei rider powers with help of the Heisei Lockseed. Baden Empire collected the past rider powers in forms of Lockseeds, and Ichigo combined the power of Showa riders into the Showa Lockseed. And as in those examples, users of the Lockseed get an armor based on the past rider. Their main sidearm, either a sword, club, gun, or just a boost to hand-to-hand combat, but as a side effect they start to exhibit legendary riders' personality traits. I really like the Kamen Rider Lockseeds. The 3/4 perspective sculpt of the helmet, nice art of the changer and the important attribute, and the sound effects, all of them relating to the main riders but with some unique personality. In series we only saw Double Lockseed used by Kamen Rider Ryugen, O's Lockseed used by Kamen Rider Baron, Fourze Lockseed used by Kamen Rider Zangetsu, Wizard Lockseed used by Kamen Rider Gaim, 15 Showa Rider Lockseed used by Kamen Rider Gaim in Ichigo mode, 15 Heisei Rider Lockseed used by Kamen Rider 15 in Decade, Fourze, Wizard and Gaim modes. We also saw that while using Decade arms, 15 managed to summon Hibiki's Ongekibo, and in post-series movie, Gaim got the Drive Lockseed as a gift from Women of the Beginning. We also saw all the Showa and Heisei Lockseed riders on display in Baden's base, available as premium Bandai releases. And if you want to see those Lockseeds in action, you need to play the Gunbar Rising arcade game. In the arcade game, we got to see Gaim wearing Ryuki, Deno, Decade, Double, O's, and Fourze, Baron wearing Deno and Wizard, Ryugen wearing Fize and Fourze, Zangetsu wearing Kabuto, Decade and Agito, Gridon wearing Double, Kurokage wearing Blade, Bravo wearing Hibiki, Duke wearing Wizard, Sid wearing Kiva, Marika wearing Fourze, and Knuckle wearing Kuga. So yeah, we have a complete set of Heisei arms, but no Showa ones. I will need to one day make a video about how the Heisei vs Showa movie killed any marketability for the Showa riders, cause it's insane, especially when you compare it to Ultraman, where every kid knows who guys like Leo or Taro are. Toyline of course had extra lockseeds based on the secondary riders, main riders, alt forms, Gaim riders, and even some side characters like Momotaros and Ang. Also we got a secret reveal that they made Shoka Leader and Shadow Moon lockseeds. I really don't want to meet a dude who willingly uses a fruit mutated by Nazis. Fun fact, there was a cancelled plan to do a wizard or dragon lockseed, but we only have concept art for it locked and closed. So this goes straight into the channeling rider powers. Next up we have the legendary rider shift cars and signal bikes, and we know jack shit about them. The Fize signal bike appeared in the superhero Tyson GP movie, where it saved Kiriko memories from getting rewritten by Shoka's history-modifying machine. We also saw in a special miniseries that Great Lead of Shoka used one to transform into Fize, and that's it. All the other signal bike strikes make their own sounds in style of so maybe it would somehow channel the powers of those riders, but we don't have any canonical examples of a rider using them, so it goes in the category of we don't know. Eyecons! Introduced in their own DVD special series, legendary rider Eyecons allow Ghost and Spectre to channel the past rider powers. Created by mysterious people named Frey and Freya, similarly to lockseeds, Eyecons were created by changing past rider collectibles into icons. In the special we saw Drive, Double, Gaim, Fourze, O's, Wizard, and Ichigo Parka Ghosts getting used. They work the same way as other past collectibles, giving Ghost or Spectre rider equipment and superpowers. And in the climax of the miniseries, we also saw them combined with the legendary 45 icon that had the powers of all Heisei riders. As I explained ages ago in my review, the Heisei side of the icon let Ghost manifest the powers of past riders by enhancing his strength, speed, combat skills, and by generating card-shaped projectiles, while the Ichigo icon gave Ghost stronger combat powers. In the final episode of Kanner Ghost, Takeru also obtained a X8 icon from a power-up medal, and we later see it in use in the Dr. Pac-Man movie, where it lets Ghost fight the Pac-Man Buckster. Not gonna lie, this movie is the basis of my headcanon that most Kamen powers are like super specific to fight their enemies. That's why X8 is great at fighting Bucksters, while Ghost, even his strongest forms, has trouble with them. And if you wanted to see the non-show icons in action, again, you go to the Gunba Racing arcade game. Ghost, Spectre and Necrom basically used all of them, even the Toyline exclusive Showa 45th anniversary icon, which had a Damashi that looked like Ichigo. Again, in that ancient review I ranted about it, that it's a weird choice in design, but that video has an awful audio since I didn't know how recording sound works back then. But still remember to check it out, please. Channeling powers. Gashats. First legendary gashat we saw in the series was Kaigan Ghost. It was introduced in the Dr. Pac-Man movie. Dan Kuroto created it to counter the Pac-Man virus he made by analyzing the Aura Ghost icon. Later in the YouTube special series X8 Tricks Ken, we got to see other rider gashats where X8 used Full Throttle Drive and Tokenden Gaim to assume those forms. Full Throttle Drive gave X8 access to weapons of drive and his super speed, while Tokenden Gaim gave him the skills of a swordsman. Gen also used Magic the Wizard gashat and he just copied his rider kick and that's it. Other legendary rider gashats we only saw on game desks were Adventure Guy Kuga, Agito of the Sun, Mirror Labyrinth Ryuki, Moshi Moshi Fize, King of Poka, Blade, Taiko Master, Hibiki, Insect Wars, Kabuto, Time Express, Deno, Doki Doki, Makai, Castle, Kiva, Barcode Warrior, Decade, Detective Double, Jungle O's, Space Galaxy, Fourze. The data of all the legendary rider gashats got combined with the Ganba Rising gashat. Yeah, as you can see, multi-marketing is going hard. Toyline also had an exclusive gashat of Kamen Rider Ichigo, which was only used in the Ganba Rising arcade game. The toy was given away as a gift during the Toy Hero World 3rd anniversary. In the Build X X8 crossover movie, Build's gashats appears, but it doesn't have a corresponding form, it's just data form of Nebula gas that lets the X8 rider use their powers even under the blocking influence of the Enigma machine. Technically this doesn't match the term Legend Rider since Build was after X8, but man, when will I have a different time to mention it? And if you wanted to see the legendary rider gashats in action, you again go to the Ganba Rising arcade game. X8 use Kuga, Ryuki, Kabuto, Kiva, Decade, and Double, while Gen use Agito, Fize, Blade, maybe it's a subtle reference to his time in Go Rider, Hibiki, Deno, Decade, O's, and Fourze. Also, since the legendary rider gashats are level 1 to 2 type gashats, they could theoretically be combined with other ones, and as seen on the Sodo Candy toy block, we got to see Kaigan Ghost Kekitotsu robots, Jet Combat, and Dragonite Hunter Z. I know that the special wanted to make the rider powers feel more special, but imagine how cool would be if they let X8 combine these gashats. Also, you probably noticed that all the legendary rider jingles are edits of normal gashat sounds.
Giri Giri Chambara! Gashato! Gotchard! Level up! Giri Giri no Chambara! Giri Giri Chambara! Token Den Gaim! Gashato! Gotchard! Level up! Token Den 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 Chambara! Giri Giri no Chambara! Giri Giri Chambara! Token Den 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 Chambara!
So I guess even Gencorp reuses assets in their video games. So yeah, I really like rider gashats, especially the fact that their names do sound like video games. I can imagine Adventure Guy Kuga being like a PlayStation 1 type Tomb Raider type game. How do you think these games would look like? Comment below. This video will have lots of stuff like this. Channeling powers. Full bottles. So legendary rider full bottles work in two different ways. In next to last episode of X8 we are introduced to the essence bottle. Essence bottles are similar to the smash bottles. They contain raw essence of rider powers. In the Heisei Generation's final movie it gets purified and split into Doctor and Gaim full bottles. The toy line also included a set of Fourze, Wizard, Gaim, Drive, Ghost and X8 level 1 bottles. The build driver itself is also programmed for all Heisei riders, Ichigo and a collective bottle of Showa Rider and Heisei Rider, but they never got released. The released Raw Rider bottles have a combination based on the crossover movies.
Fourze! Wizard! Best match! Are you ready? 魔法の宇宙旅行フォーゼウィザードイエーイスカイムスカライベストマッチ Are you ready? 波動がトップギアガイムドライイエーイ Ghost! Exade! Best match! Are you ready? Batteri! Level up! Ghost! Exade! Yay!
The unreleased bottles don't have any combinations, but they have unique trial sounds, with exception to the Showa X Heisei, but I will mention that later. We also have the legendary mix full bottles, which if combined allowed build to assume past rider forms. They do have their own unique full bottles, but they can't have a best match form, since they immediately transform build into a past rider. Doctor plus Gaim equals X-Aid, Parka plus Obake equals Ghost, Orange plus Lock equals Gaim, Mahotsukai plus Diamond equals Wizard, Yuja plus Rocket equals Fourze, Metal plus Taka equals O's, Tante plus Memory equals Double, Rider Card plus Camera equals Decade, Momotaros plus Densha equals Deno. I feel all of those combos are rather self-explanatory and I don't need to say anything extra, but I would for sure love to make some headcanons about what powers would the individual half-bodies give to build. Momotaro's half-body, sword fighting, extreme personality, maybe it's like the O medal where it has a mind of its own. Tante, quick thinking, ability to connect facts, throwing the cape as a protection, USB memory, quick learning, massive memory. Medal, shooting out metal-like coins. Yujo, calming aura that makes the enemy don't want to fight. Magician, illusions created by mixing materials around him. Orange, acidic juice squirter. Obake, intangibility, cold aura around him. Parka, stretchy sleeve, heating aura. Rider Card, probably energy projectiles in shape of cards, alongside great sharpshooting, you know, something like Bullseye from Marvel Comics. Camera, light flashes, photographic memory. Doctor, healing aura. Gaim, shooting out like pixel bullets from his hand. Keisatsu, fuck, F1, you. Yeah, the last two are unused sounds. The F1 bottle was supposed to be released in a set with the Dino bottle, but some genius at Bandai forgot to check, and it turns out F1 is a trademark term. So Toei and Bandai preferred to pretend those bottles didn't exist instead of risking a lawsuit. Due to that cancellation, we lost the Legend Rider power of Drive that was supposed to be a combo form of Keisatsu-kan and F1. And you know, there's also the earlier mentioned Showa and Heisei bottle. Build also had a Ganbarizing full bottle. Its best match is the Butoba Soul full bottle, both arcade games that were made by Bandai. To form the Butoba Ganba form, it would probably be pretty strong since that's basically like all the riders times 3, if you count the summons possible with the Butoba Soul medals. Oh yeah, before I finish this segment I want to mention that like the Rider Essence bottles, if they're read by the Evil Driver, they call out the final forms.
Cosmic State, Infinity Style, Ever Match! Are you ready? Fourze Wizard! Kiwami Arms, Type Tridron, Ever Match! Are you ready? Gaim Drive! 無限魂無敵ゲーマーエバルマッチ Are you ready? ゴーストエグゼイド
Hi guys, editing Gaim from future. To everyone who's writing down the comment now, still leave the comment, it's good for the algorithm. The Bandai Candy Toy blog, when they were introducing the 01 figures, showed us Build transforming to 01, stating the legend mixture for him is Bata and Robot. So yeah, I think now I have everything that I need to say about Build. Channeling powers and transforming to past riders. Rider watches. They are the main gimmick of Geo. They create themselves through a time paradox. They allow Geo to wear armors that copy or are inspired by past rider powers. And there is a bunch of toy exclusive ones. If I started to list them all now, this video would go off the tracks. Channeling past rider power. Progress keys. Zero clue, maybe they are just data storage items? At least that's my headcanon, we don't know. So I did some extra research, as in set up a YouTube video, cause I remembered seeing the cards on Mandarake, and I can confirm that in the arcade game, they were used to summon past riders, which helped our main rider copy their finisher move. I'm guessing the summoned copy works on the same logic as the rider models, being a holographic light projection that can still interact with the world. As shown on this video, all the videos used in this info box will be in the pinned comment by the way, we see Rampage Vulcan copies double maximum drive, 001 grows a pair of flaming wings similar to those used by Taja Doll, Dodo Rider, replaced with final name, flies up and does a drill kick like Fourze, Jin summons Wizard to let him power him up for a rider kick, 01 Metal Cluster summons Gaim for a combined juicy kick, Valkyria teams up with Drive for a full throttle, Ichigata Lives burns bright alongside Ghost, Jin teams up with a fellow Pink Rider, together they do a mighty kick, Horobi enjoys a company of a fellow evil ruler with a time break, And our favorite aura farmer guy summons 2 keys at once, Decade and Build, and this shows to us that these keys could be combined. This is such a cool concept. It's kinda sad these animations are closest to us seeing 0-1 riders in like a big crossover, but yeah, people that archived all those arcade game exclusive animations are the goats. It's kinda sad that probably many of those older arcade game animations are just lost. Progress keys follow the trend of gashats and the jingles are also reused from the main progress keys.
Below! Operati.
Progress!
Clashing Buffalo! This charge attack will send you flying. Evolution! Operati.
Progress!
Awaken the soul! Triple lashing Agito! A warrior fighting for the human race.
I expected Aruto to do some bullshit AI generated jingles. So it's summoning past riders, but also not as a puppet. It's like empowering the riders, so... Pass, I don't know how to categorize it. It's technically both. Wonder Ride books. Since Wonder Ride books are already physical forms of concepts on Earth, it makes sense some of them would manifest in the forms of Kamen riders, by giving Saber riders new forms that can copy abilities of past riders. Each rider book still follows the rules of normal Wonder Ride books. By that I mean each of them corresponds to a specific slot. Story are Ichigo Deno, Decade Double, Fourze Drive, Exit Geo. Animal are Kuga, Blade, Kabuto, Hiva, Ouse, Spectre, Build 01, God Beast, Agito, Ryuki, Vice, Hibiki, Wizard, Gaim, Ghost. Each of them also have pretty fun naming schemes, since they're all named like actual books. We have stories, notepad, encyclopedias, fairy tales, etc. Their design is sadly a bit too simple, just showing stock assets of riders and equipment. Most of the time it's their main melee weapon and some auxiliary gadgets. I would much prefer the DX tournament to be filled with the Tales of books, which was sadly lumped with the Gashapon and Candy class, but I guess reusing assets you already have was cheaper than making unique ones just for this series. Another thing that I love about the Saber toy line is the playability. The other sword that reads the NFC chips, Ankoku Kurayami, has a unique sound effect for every book, where Kurayami reads out the names of the bad guy factions. Saber toyline is really good for your imagination, since they don't explain everything, while still giving you a massive potential with the descriptions. But that's not the end. We also have a few extra special books, like this weird set of book that represents the 3 factions of Kamen Rider 01, Metsubo Jinrai, Aim Security and Hidden Intelligence. They have their own unique sounds for getting scanned and for performing henshins while combining them. We never saw them in any fictions and I have zero clue how they are different from the normal 01 Wonder Ride books. There is also the magazine bonus Wonder Ride books, each of them combining that different era of the rider. There is a Showa one, a Heisei one, a Reiwa one, and if combined they have a unique announcement. And there is of course Superhero Senki, which combines both the powers of all Sentai and all riders into one massive book. Man, Saber didn't fuck around with the anniversary elements. So powers channeling. Vice stamps. Vice stamps are the main gimmick of Kamen Rider Revice. They are highly advanced pieces of tech that combine ancient alien technology with DNA of animals, with a pinch of rider designs cause the creator of them was a massive nerd. They are really evident example of channeling past rider powers. To not make this segment too short, I want to ask, what was the China exclusive variant of the mammoth stamp? It's yellow. Is this a reference to Deno wing form? Also, I'm kinda sad that there is no concept art for all the forms that were shown in the series. Thank God the community is really creative and makes some great fan art. Channeling past rider powers. Race buckles. Race buckles are an inherent part of the GDP, the combat survival game show that is the main plot point in the Kamen Rider Geats series. Each contestant gets the powers and equipment from items called race buckles. Legendary rider buckles are themed after the henshin devices, specifically stating out their names. As we see in the Kamen Rider Geats movie, if through some cosmic situation, past rider uses a buckle of a changer they already had, they regain the past changer with its full power set. But if a new rider uses that, they get a stats boost and the Past Rider's weapon. I can see some strategical potential here, especially if you want to have two buckles mounted at the same time. Before we got the Saber X Go special, I thought that's how the Rider Wonder Ride boost would work, just giving Sabers swords of Past Riders. Past Rider power manifestation. Rider chemic cards. So normal chemic cards are containers for chemis, mythical homunculi beasts created by the Alchemy Association. And as explained in the Gotchard vs Legend special, somehow Legend managed to copy that tech and create new chemis with help of rider powers from different dimensions. In series we see chemic cards for all the main riders from Kuga up to Geats, alongside the final rider forms, some extra riders and dark riders. While Legend uses the chemic cards to transform into Past Rider, Gotchard instead fuses with the marketable monsters themselves, probably because that's how his transformation works. If you want to learn more about it, go check out my YouTube video, please. And I'm not gonna beat around the bush, I love this gimmick. You already know I'm a sucker for Ultraman fusion gimmicks, so seeing it here just done with Kamen Rider themed monsters made my eyes glow with joy. True, we only saw 3 designs for the Legend Rider forms in the show: Exceed Mighty, which gave Gotchard powers of super speed, enhanced kicks and ability to create energy constructs similar to those used by Fourze. It also powered him up with a massive passion for fighting for dreams of others. And as we remember, Gotchard Driver is powered by emotions, so it's like feeding Cheetah a can of Gatorade. Cyclone Tatoba, which gave Gotchard enhanced animal senses and enhanced hand-to-hand combat, and Furu Furu Rocket, which combined Fourze's flight capabilities with build-colored energy blasts. Other combination we didn't see on screen, and my explanation for the combinations were Kuga plus Fourze, adventurers that fight for dreams, Double plus O's, a sister series, Fourze and Build, both powers come from space with big themes of friendship and teamwork, Ichigo plus Nigo, they're both double riders, Agito plus Blade, both riders get corrupted by their inner powers, have moves related to extending horns, both also have used attacks that were basically flying through the enemy, Ryuki plus Ghost, fighting for humanity, summoning ability, Hibiki plus X8, Tekno shooting reference, Kabuto plus Saber, Toma walked the path of heaven in that one episode with shitty CGI, Deno plus 01, Steam Hopper, but sci-fi, Kiva plus Wizard, both get their powers and are friends of demons and magical creatures, Decade plus Zio, the name Anniversary Time, it speaks for itself. Gaim plus Drive, they had a crossover movie, there is like a traveling samurai trope there maybe. Revive plus Vice, double riders of Reiwa, Geats plus Gotchard, crossover movie. Geats riders and the Geats supporters, it's also self-explanatory. So I originally wanted to do a fragment where I give my headcanon ideas for what those powers would be for those combinations, but my sibling in Christ, the script has over 5k words. I don't have enough grey matter in my head to make up all that stuff. But hey, more material for you to leave in the comments. Final form cards are probably the same as the base ones, but extra powerful. What can I also say? Dread has unique animations for every rider. That's cute. Probably he could drain them for the abilities. And I really wish my Jade got a chance to get her own rider combos using the powers of secondary riders. Sadly, Bandai thinks girls are stinky. Power channeling. Gochizos. Created by Legend, as we see in the last episode Gotchard. We know jack shit about the abilities. The announcement is Tsuyoi, the same as Bunbunje Gochizo. So probably the assist type, where Gav channels the powers of past warriors in his own unique way. It's nice that we got a whole set of Showa gimmicks. Last time we got that was in Gaim. So yeah, I think this is Past Rider channeling, but we don't have a on-screen example, so we really don't know. So this was my mega long video about how Kamen Rider uses the powers of the senpais. This type of legacy gimmick is one of my favorite parts of a long-running franchise. I would love for a Transformers series that works kind of like Zenkaiger, where thanks to the series MacGuffin, Optimus can now copy the laser blasts of Armada Prime or some of the jetplane armor from Cyberverse. What franchise would you love to see legacy gimmicks in? What are your headcanons of the legacy gimmicks? Please write it down in the comments, cause I know joke love reading your comments. It's my favorite part of doing YouTube. Bye!